I think they're done with pitchers. As maybe they sign a reliever, but I would like to see the bullpen upgraded a little bit, because if you are planning on winning 90 games this year, which I think the Rangers look at their rotation now, deGrom, Perez, Gray, Heaney, and Odorizzi, and go, hey, I think we can win over 80 games and hopefully get to that 90 marker to make the playoffs. But last year, at times the bullpen was good. At times it was bad. They never figured out the closing situation. They went through 4 different closers. If you are planning on winning 90 games, you're going to have to win a lot of close games. There's going to be games where that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning are going to be big innings to figure out how to beat Seattle, how to beat Houston, how to figure out how to win some other big games. So maybe a bullpen piece or two is next, but I struggle to see them going after another starting pitcher.
I would say there's still a slight chance of another starter, maybe not a big name. I mean, obviously, like I told you before, Rodon, one of my friends, told me still a chance, so I'm not ruling that out. I do think the bullpen does need a little bit of an upgrade. I will say, and I'm just throwing this out there, there are some big-name closers out there. Kimbrel is out there as one. But I think you got to get another couple pieces for the bullpen. I think that's something else that you could use. There's never enough pitching, due to injuries that happen, especially in spring training and during the season. You can never have too much pitching. So I think that's a big one. I do want to dive into, I think we should try to get I say we, like I'm a part of it, but I think they should go out and try to get another piece for the outfield. A name that comes to mind, a trade piece, Brian Reynolds. I think that would be huge.
I like what you're saying there, because
owner of Wrexham.
After you
that's Ryan.
After you go with deGrom, Perez, Gray, Heaney, and Odorizzi, your 5 starting pitchers, you still have in the organization who made starts for you last year, who right now are backups, whether they be in the bullpen or be in AAA, would be Dane Dunning, Cole Reagans, Spencer Howard, Glenn Otto. Now, I know I didn't name those in the correct order, but I'm just naming 4 guys that made, especially Dane Dunning and Glenn Otto, they made a lot of starts for you last year, and now they're pushed out of the rotation. Now, they could be in the rotation and Odorizzi could go to the bullpen. That is a possibility, but Cole Reagans is still a guy who you have a first-round pick on, who improved a lot last year in the minor leagues, showed signs of being a pretty good pitcher in the major leagues. It just takes time for him to learn how is he going to consistently get major league hitters out. For Derek Holland, he figured it out. For me, I didn't figure it out. I could get him out, and then I couldn't get him out. And then I could get him out, and then I couldn't get him out. And that makes you a AAA, 4A type of pitcher. And then you have your draft picks. You have Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, you have Owen White, and you have Cole Winn. Those are, I think, 3 guys that could have an impact on your major league team. I don't think Kumar Rocker can have an impact on your major league team in 2023. He needs to pitch some innings, probably going to start him off in AA, and that is a tough level to start off your professional career at. So when you talk about Brian Reynolds, I look at
Well, hold on.
Dane
I want to stay
Dunning
with the. I was going to say I want to stay with the pitching for 1 second too. So we've got 4 guys that are completely in the rotation, correct? They're going to be in there no matter what to start.
That's
would say
deGrom, Gray, Perez, and Heaney.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't think Odorizzi?
So you're competing for your 5th. If that's the case,
I'd like to push one down.
And
still.
And I think the other thing too is you take these guys into the spring training. They have them compete for the 5th spot. Whoever doesn't get it could also still be your long man. I could see a guy like Dane Dunning being your long man. Then if injuries happen, he's already stretched out. He's good to go, and now he can come into the rotation to help out until he's back. Or if he proves himself as being something dominant, he stays in, and the other guy, for instance, let's say it's Odorizzi, goes to the bullpen and becomes the long man.
Quick question about that. In most cases, do you feel like the long man is somebody who was competing for a starting spot and didn't win it, and so they're going to view that as a disappointment, like on its face?
A little bit,
I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but yes. No, because it's, yes, you're competing for it, but you're still a part of the team, and you're still somebody that's relied on as, hey, you know what? deGrom's down today. We can't use him. We got you to jump right in there.
And usually the long guy wants to be a starter. He doesn't want to be a long guy. That's what I'm saying. A little bit. You're not like, oh, God, I hate being on this team, but you're just like, dang it, I wanted one of those 5 spots. I do have this from Baseball Reference right here, and this is the predictions for all 5. I call them 5 starting pitchers. I know that Odorizzi might end up bumping to the pen, but they have Jacob deGrom at 101 innings. I did write down his innings. Everybody else I didn't. 7-5 record with a 2.85 ERA.
Okay.
So I think we obviously want more wins and want more innings
And
from
honestly,
that one.
if that's all the innings you're getting, I want a lower ERA. I know you might be like, the ERA is already sub-3, but for deGrom, if that's all the innings you get, that's disappointing.
Martin Perez, they have at 10-9 with a 3.57 ERA.
A 3.57 ERA would be,
And the
I'd be
threes is
just
good.
fine with that.
John Gray, they have with an 8-9 record with a 4.21 ERA.
Okay. So not great, but fine.
That should be lower.
Did you say 3.57 for Martin?
Uh-huh. If you look at his career,
That's pretty good.
that would be a very good ERA.
No, that would be exceptional. He's had a 3.6 and a 2.8 in his career.
For his two best.
His second season was his 3.6. Since
Yeah.
then, it was always in the 4s. So I'm like,
Except for last year.
Yeah, except for
Yeah,
last year.
right.
So it would be like, that's the outlier for me
Yeah.
right now. But maybe, hopefully, that'd be awesome.
For Heaney, they have a projection of a 6-6 record with a 4.33 ERA, and for Odorizzi, 7-7 with a 4.24 ERA. So I do think this is good. If you end up at the end of the year with a guy in the high 2s, a guy in the mid 3s, and then 3 guys in the low 4s, that's a pretty solid rotation. You're not looking at the best rotation in baseball. You're probably not even looking at the best rotation in the American League West. You would probably say Houston still is better than you, and Seattle might still be better than you, but that gives you a chance. If you look at the records, it gives you a chance to play 500 or better.
I agree with that. Yeah, I
You
think.
just need bullpen help.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down. I mean, I'm looking at the records you said for everybody. It was pretty much almost every guy was 500.
Right around 500, yeah.
So I know the offense is going to put up the numbers. They definitely can hit. They're going to do all that. But I just think we definitely need bullpen help.
Well, yeah, and I want to go back to your Brian Reynolds.
Well, hold on. I do want to
Okay.
say this too
I like
for
him.
another bullpen piece, and I think this would be big because he showed a lot of flashes of this too. Taylor Hearn, put him in the bullpen setup guy.
Taylor Hearn, who's in our bay this weekend.
Oh, you got him.
At Jared Sandler's charity event.
Went with a different lefty. I see how
Which
it
is currently at $2,000.
You got rid
Is
of me
that
for-
good?
If you want to go ahead and bid $2,200, you can do that right now, or $2,001. Either way.
I think he might have a minimum about how much that bid needs to
Okay,
go up.
you do what you want to when you call into Joey 877-881-1053 and make your new bid. And Derek, we love Taylor Hearn, and we
I
also
noticed. You
love
love
you
him more than me.
and we also
I
love
picked
you.
him.
We didn't make those
Yeah, you did.
selections.
You
I
get to
heard.
hang out with Darren Woodson, bro.
All
And
right,
us.
carry on, Mike. I'm
So,
hurt.
well, I do think with Taylor Hearn, he can fill in a whole bunch of different roles for you. I think that's what makes him valuable as a bullpen piece is he can be a long guy. He can be a setup guy. I don't know if he can be a closer, but I do think that he can play a lot of different roles in your bullpen throughout the season besides, I would say, your closer role.
And sometimes I don't think about this, but we do always have new listeners or maybe people who are trying to learn. We don't want to shut anybody out. Explain what a long man is, especially in this era of your faux starters.
Well, with how it is now, since starters don't get to go the distance and because of analytics, 5 innings is considered good. Then you get your setup guy, your long relief guy is a guy that can usually eat between 2 to 3 innings, sometimes longer. For let's say a pitcher goes down in the first inning, this guy gets to step in and extend the game as long as he possibly can. You just basically ride him out.
And usually your long guy, you're not asking him to go back-to-back days.
Yes.
So your long guy is usually after he pitches, he's going to have 2 days off because you want him to be able to throw 50 pitches or I'll say you don't want to go more than 50 because then you might have to give him 3 days off. But you're usually looking at a long guy going, hey, when he pitches, we believe he can get up to 50 pitches in this game, but he's probably going to need 2 days off to be able to accomplish that again.
Do you feel like not all the time, but frequently you will see the long man in what has become a poor situation?
100%.
Mop up duty.
A long guy's not coming in because you're doing well.
Yeah.
Hey, man, the starter's doing well. Let's take him out after 3.
Hey,
See
what if the
happens here.
computer told me to do that now? You might have to change that. It's like my computer is
Luckily,
like,
I think the Rangers are going away from computer baseball.
Hopefully.
Do we have any concerns? And I'll go ahead and throw this out for myself is when you talked about Corey sliding someone down, Andrew Heaney, and this might just be like the way he decided to put this in his story, is Evan Grant said deGrom, Heaney, Gray, Perez, Odorizzi. So that could have just been like the way he decided to put that. But
Yeah, it's not the order.
Andrew Heaney does not have a great track record of being a good full-time starting pitcher.
He
And so
reminds me
I'm
of Jordan
concerned.
Lyles a little bit.
Okay.
Now, he was better than Jordan Lyles last year. He went to the Dodgers and had a very good year. But if you look at a lot of his stats, you're not going to be impressed for his career. So you're really hoping he's 31
His strikeouts
years
are
old.
phenomenal,
Right.
but then what?
But at 31 years old, you're really hoping what you've done is you're turning him from the Mike Minor that after he got hurt and was a bullpen piece in Kansas City, came here and made the All-Star team. Or you're looking at Kyle Gibson, who was struggling in Minnesota and came here and eventually made the All-Star team. Lance Lynn wasn't struggling, but he wasn't maybe as good as in his peak and then became a really good pitcher. I think he finished 3rd or 4th in Cy Young voting in the COVID year for the Texas Rangers. So I think that
We've excelled
the Rangers,
at that.
the Rangers are looking at excelling at taking a pitcher who has not been what you'd consider quality in the major leagues, but he's been a major league pitcher and getting the most out of him in Andrew Heaney.
You're going to get a lot too from Maddox. Maddox does such a good job of helping that people don't understand is he's so good at when it comes to the scouting and giving you the right report for when you go out there to be successful. He's going to prepare him the right way. So that's going to play a factor. And you've got Bochy too, who's going to help as well. Those two combined is a perfect fit for the Rangers and what's going on.